everyone, and welcome back for another episode of FMLPK. I hope you guys enjoyed the international break. Not really.
Whoever
But
enjoys the international break.
just a quick reminder that the deadline for game week 9 is Saturday, November 21st at 4 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Just have a look at the remaining international fixtures and any COVID related news before you make your changes. And let's get straight into it, man. Salman, I'm just going to pull your team up here real quick and tell us about your week. You did fairly all right, in my opinion. You got 59 points.
Yeah, as has been the case for the last 3-4 weeks, I've been getting my captain wrong. I chose Son, expecting him to do better than Kane because of the discussion we had last week.
The home and away thing.
Yeah. And so I chose Son over Kane. Kane got 9. Son got 3. So disappointed with that. Otherwise, I got 59 points. I lost some position in the leagues that I'm playing in. But more than that, I'm disappointed with what's happened over the last week or so in terms of the break. Salah getting COVID positive, Chilwell getting a back injury. More matches coming up, so you don't really know what's going to happen. Grealish is still going to play again for sure. So I'm praying for Grealish big time.
All right. So I can see here that, like I said, you got 59 points and you've got these two players right now with an injury concern. And you mentioned that you had 2 transfers.
Yes. So I'm.
So what are you thinking? Are you wildcarding? Are you not wildcarding? Are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not wildcarding for sure. I'm just happy that I have 2 transfers with me. My original plan was to get rid of Townsend and Maupay and bring in Watkins and Ziyech. This all depends on how Chilwell's injury turns out. If it's not a major injury and he will play game week 10, and Salah will in all likelihood play game week 10 because he's been in COVID for the last 1 week, so he'll miss the match against Leicester, but he'll play the match after that. In which case, it's not an emergency on my team, and therefore Ziyech and Watkins come in, Maupay and Townsend go out.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, Hakeem Ziyech very much the man of the hour right now.
He is,
I
think he's a starter.
He got some returns, as it were, over the international break as well. He got some crazy goal, with his left foot. Yeah, I saw a highlight of that. That was pretty crazy. So he scored for Morocco. All right.
I like your Watkins pick, man. That's a good move.
Watkins, that's an interesting pick of Aston Villa, man.
And they've got relatively easy. They've got relatively easy games, and Villa are on fire. If Grealish doesn't get injured in the next 4 or 5 days, I think Grealish is a great provider. They've got a very good team. They've got Barkley, they've got McGinn, who's back in form, and then they've got Grealish and Watkins up top.
Yeah.
It's turning out to be a great combination for Villa. Very impressed with a team who ended up 17th last season. They're up at number 2 or 3 this season. So super performance. They beat Arsenal 3-0. They beat
last
7-2. It's a great performance.
So who did they beat 7-2?
Liverpool.
This season?
Yeah,
man.
That was this season.
That was this season.
Oh, I think I've just international
break.
It's
been a long break.
It's been a long break. Yeah,
it's been a long break.
It's been a weird season overall. Yeah. So Watkins and Ziyech come in.
Okay, I like your pick, Watkins. I must say, because of the fixture swing, because of the way Villa have been playing offensively, and hopefully, if Grealish doesn't get injured, then between Bamford and Watkins, I think you need at least one of these guys in your team.
Yeah, and if you look at the matches, If you look at the matches, they've got Brighton at home, West Ham away, Newcastle at home.
Yeah. On paper, they have some wonderful fixtures.
Yeah, they've got Burnley at home, West Brom. So it's the next till the time that I use or at least plan to use my wild card. They've got 3 or 4 easy home games out of 7.
All right, man. That sounds pretty good. I just want to ask you a quick question. Like, what's your strategy now? Are you looking more at form or fixtures, or is it a mixture of both?
It's a mixture of both.
Okay.
You cannot ignore one or the other. Although this season has been very strange in terms of fixtures. I mean, you wouldn't expect Villa to score 7 against Liverpool. You wouldn't expect Villa to score 3 against an Arsenal side, which has been relatively well organized defensively. So there have been quite a few.
I wouldn't expect West Ham to come out the way they did after the fixtures they had.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, if you look at the
so what you're saying essentially is more form and less fixtures. Of course, it is some consideration, but you're giving more weightage to form right now. All right.
I mean, if you look at the table, Southampton is 4th, Villa is 6th, Crystal Palace is 8th. These aren't teams who occupy the top 10 spots in the Premier League.
I think you would be upsetting some fans, some Villa fans, man. That's pretty mean thing to say.
There won't be many Villa fans. In any case, they ended up 17th last season. So I'm super impressed by Villa.
All right, man. So thank you for that. And Murtaza, I'm just going to pull up your team real quick. Ooh. So tell me, you did pretty decently, man. You got 61 points.
Yeah, not bad. Kane worked out.
But you seem like to have some systemic issues with your team, man. Like I'm seeing 5 red or like yellow or orange.
It's a Christmas tree right now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, are you going to use a wild card?
Well, so Trent is already out. I had 2 changes in hand.
Okay.
Before the price went down. And Salah is a last-minute freaking troublemaker there. And Wilson most likely is back. I think he's rested. Chilwell. This is when you need the good bench, man. I guess.
You don't have a good bench.
Well, what can you do if you have these primo?
You can wild card.
No, man.
Like Salman, are you looking at this team of his?
I'm putting it up right now, but I've been saying since before the season started.
No, that's because of the way your team is constructed. It doesn't apply to everyone. Now, if someone has 6 goddamn injuries, like,
no, it's all good. My plan is
I can see that you won't dump Chilwell and Salah, but like Mitchell, Nyland, Wilson, and Trent, I mean, they gotta go, dude.
They'll go in wild card for sure.
And Dine also has to go.
Dine still has 2 good fixtures. So I wanted to bring in Cresswell.
Why not get
like we
Cresswell,
spoke about?
Yeah.
We spoke about that, but then Trent popped up, and then I wanted to get rid of
I don't know, man. The way your team, I'm seeing you, I can see a wild card going on. You can get rid of Foden and Son.
What change did you make?
I've got Trent out already, and Target is in.
That's a good pick. I like that.
So that's one, and now
Target is a good pick. Yeah.
I have enough money to flip from Son to KDB. That's one move I can make.
Okay. Are you going to take a -4 for that?
And then Podence was on the move. So I was already planning a -4 for this game week. I just moved up Trent early.
You still have 1 transfer left, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have the funds?
Yeah. I still have money in the bank.
To change Son for KDB?
I have 3.7 in the bank, man.
So if you are comfortable with like basically having no bench for this next game week, then you can get away with the wild card, not using a wild card.
I'll still have a good playing 11. Taylor's there, Bissouma's there, Wilson will be back, Salah sits, and I can turn Podence into Ziyech, or I can turn Son into KDB.
So, wouldn't you rather turn Podence into Ziyech right now?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
It's just a question. You've already transferred on out and gotten a target.
Yeah.
And then you've got Mitchell, who's certainly not playing, and Chilwell, who might not play.
Taylor's
So
there
then
as
you've got-
backup.
And then you've got
Taylor's a
only-
good option. But then you're sort of two Burnley defenders. You know?
No, he's got
No.
one Burnley, one Villa, and Everton.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Target is Aston Villa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry. Yeah.
But
Podence can go to Ziyech. That's the logical move there for the fixtures. And
I mean, between Son and KDB for City versus Tottenham, I think it's, the way this season is unfolding, it sort of works out to be the same thing. But Podence, Wolves just haven't been the same attacking, and Podence ain't definitely getting no returns Ziyech will be getting.
He was in for that run and he didn't fire. So my idea was to drop Digne too, go to Cresswell for Digne. I get more funds there. And then Son and Podence too. So that would become KDB, Ziyech and Cresswell.
Yeah.
Murtaza, I mean, in my mind, the safer bet would be to take out Mitchell and get in someone from Crystal Palace, or what was the other team I was going to suggest? West Ham as a defender. Because if you look at your team, you've got Mitchell, who's certainly not playing, Salah in all likelihood not playing, and then you've got Chilwell and Wilson, who are right now yellow.
So it's saying dump Mitchell for Cresswell.
Dump Mitchell for either Cresswell. You've got what's his name, Kufal, West Ham player, or you can get another Crystal Palace player. Because Crystal Palace are playing Burnley, and Burnley have only scored 3 goals in the last 8.
Crystal Palace suck.
Burnley have scored 3 goals.
Get Cresswell, dude. West Ham United.
Burnley have scored 3 goals.
But
in
I mean,
8 game weeks.
I don't want to get
Cresswell has created 7 big chances or 7 chances, the most of any defender in the last
But
3
Cresswell
or 4
will come
weeks.
in for Digne. That makes sense. Mitchell is a 4.0. I'm not getting. He's a dead end anyways. I don't want my 5th defender ever coming in. You know what I mean?
I understand. What I'm saying is there are a lot of injury concerns. So instead of taking out a player who's going to play, bring in a player who's take out a player who might not play.
Okay, so wait a second. When are you going to use your wild card then? What's the plan?
Was to hold it till the double game weeks are announced. So right till the end, game week 16.
Kufal. Sorry.
Then I
think the name of the West Ham player is Kufal. Vladimir Kufal.
Yeah.
Cresswell.
Cresswell is 5.1. Kufal is 4.5.
Cresswell.
I don't know. अब Son भी निकालना है, Kane भी निकालना है. I think Kane.
नहीं, Kane क्यों निकालना है? Why does Kane go out? He's in form.
Because Kane would be replaced by KDB. I don't need
How can
KDB.
So who would you get instead of Kane? I mean,
not right away. Son would go before KDB. Kane.
Exactly. All right. I get what he's saying about Mitchell. Definitely that makes sense right now. Like, if you've already dumped Trent, but what I don't agree with is like Kufar, Jafar, fucking whoever he thinks should play instead of fucking Alan Cresswell.
No, I'll wait till Zeus.
Kufal or Kufal or whatever his name is has scored 2 assists versus
he's
Cresswell's
good.
3.
He's good.
He's 4.5 versus Cresswell at 5.1. So you can choose either of them. The point being that West Ham are playing Sheffield United, who have scored only 4 goals this season.
And they're terrible also defensively. So that bodes well for his Sheffield United.
that's fine.
But for if you can get a clean sheet plus attacking returns, that's why West Ham assets make definitely good sense right now. Defensive assets make good sense.
But Wilson's back, man. Don't worry, Wilson's back for a brace against Chelsea.
We'll see, man. The way Chelsea have been playing, they're very tight at the back now.
Yeah.
So let's see. All right, man. So looks good. I'm just gonna come to your captain picks later. Just gonna pull up my own team and see how I did. I did okay this week. Finally, I got 78 points, but again, my problem was not picking the right captain and Son.
Yeah, same here.
And just again. That whole looking at the fixtures too deeply and this and that, and
you were on Kane, right? You were on Kane.
I was on Kane, and then I was like, no, let me go back to fucking Son. So
that's exactly what I did as well. After the discussion we had last week on the home and away thing.
So that sort of bit me, but my defense came through in a big way.
Big time.
You know, and like I feel like Southampton are finally coming good. Of that early pre-season promise that that was the hope I had for them. I mean, I dumped the attacker Shea Adams, but I still held on to the keeper and Kyle Walker-Peters. So that worked out in my favor. But yeah, going forward, I need to dump. I know I have to get rid of Son, because of the fixture swing. And I know I want to get rid of Trossard as well. And I only have one change right now. So I mean, right now it's Trossard out. Yeah, and I wanted Grealish in, but I don't have the funds. I mean, I do, but then I won't be able to get in KDB later. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get KDB in later in like game week 9, but I still like to have that option. So then I was thinking it has to be Diego Jota or Ross Barkley. Now, the problem with Jota for me is I already have Mane, as you pointed out, Murtaza. So then Ross Barkley is the guy who makes the most sense for me. It gives me Aston Villa cover over a good fixture run that they have. It helps me get rid of my problem asset at 6 million. Trossard, I really need more points than what he's been posting.
Right.
So that's one thing. But then I'm like, I also want a Cresswell in my team. And I might be tempted not to get in KDB next week and get in Cresswell for like a Justin or something like that. Because Justin might be now going back to the bench.
Why?
Because Pereira is back in contention, I believe. Soon, yeah. So this is all I'm thinking in the next 2-3 game weeks. So for me, it makes perfect sense. I only have one change. I dumped Trossard for Barkley. It's 6 million versus 6 million transfer. Leaves me a lot of room to maneuver and get KDB in later. And yeah, that's what my plan is. I climbed up a million spots almost. So I got 78 points.
A popular transfer for Son is Bruno, which you're not liking.
Man,
okay, so about Bruno, I read somewhere.
You had to bring him in.
Yeah, of course.
I know why you.
Look, he suggested Bruno, and I'm like, no way. And
who suggested Bruno?
You suggested Bruno before the recording, and then you started doing your little research and disappeared for 20 minutes and came back and said, no, fuck Bruno.
No, I never said fuck Bruno.
I mean, you didn't fuck Bruno, but you're like, yeah, it's making sense not to have him. Okay, wait a second.
I wouldn't do that.
Look, his non-penalty XG is like barely, it doesn't even exist. It's barely there. And they're not going to get that many penalties, dude. And it's like they've got too many issues right now. It's unstable atmosphere at the club. Like with the whole manager situation, the whole Bruno and Mason Greenwood situation, the Pogba situation. What type of manager are you going to get? Yeah, they got the goals when his job was on the line, allegedly. But at 10.6, I think that there are better options out there, dude. I would rather trust KDB over Bruno Fernandes. It's not even a conversation for me.
Yes, KDB over Bruno Fernandes. KDB is more expensive than Bruno Fernandes.
Everything nice and shiny is more expensive than Bruno Fernandes.
sometimes you can't afford the more expensive parts. Manchester
You're
United,
telling me for this
Manchester,
fixture swing, you are not going to make room for KDB?
No. I'm not getting a City player in. City have only scored 10 goals since the start of the season. United have scored 12 goals. Bruno Fernandes has 3 double-digit hauls in the last 7 game weeks. KDB, not so much KDB, but City have been as disappointing as United have been since the start of the season. Aguero is still not back. Raheem Sterling is an injury concern. They've scored 10 goals in 7 game weeks. United have scored more goals. And you can't look at the non-penalty XG because penalty is a part of the game right now. Only in game week 6 was there 1 penalty. Otherwise, there have been 4 or 5 penalties across the Premier League every week. So penalties is a fact of life now with VAR acting up the way it is till the time that they get it fixed. It's going to be there. He's going to take the shot. So there's a differential of I think 0.9 or 1. And then City and United have been equally bad. You can't say that City have been super and United have been bad. They've both been quite disappointing since the start of the season. So it's a toss-up. But if you look at the FPL ranking so far, Fernandes is 5th and KDB is
I'd rather have Ziyech than Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, but I mean,
what the fuck are you talking about?
After a detailed explanation that I came up with numbers and everything, this is a typical reply. I mean, if you want to look at if you want to look at alternatives, Grealish is a good one. Zaha is a good one.
Ross Barkley.
Rodriguez is back. Ross Barkley is back. So
Hot tub.
Bowen. Yeah, with
all these guys that you just said are better than Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, and KDB isn't.
No, KDB could be potentially going forward with the fixtures. Trust me. Wait, you're telling me, okay, so you know how like there was no clean sheets at the beginning of the season. You're like, okay, you know, things are going to normalize. And sure enough, we started to get the clean sheets. You're telling me a Pep Guardiola side is going to post an XG of 1.25 for this whole fucking season? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
Then in effect, City are going to go come alive.
Yeah.
So hit.
Some point in your life they will, but they haven't yet.
So in this season, you're telling me you don't favor them to score goals after they play Tottenham. You're telling me you don't expect them to score goals against Burnley, Fulham, United, West Brom.
Okay, so we'll look at some stats.
Southampton.
Yeah. We'll look at some hard numbers.
God.
Yeah, game week 4. It is about stats, right? How do you pick a team? How do you pick a player? Game week 4, 1 goal. Game week 5, 1 goal. Game week 6, 1 goal. Game week 7, 1 goal. Game week 8, 1 goal. That's what they're doing.
What I'm hearing is all the more chances of them getting more goals and KDB getting more points. Okay.
You just want to jump on KDB 2 weeks ahead of everyone. That's what you said.
No, I'm gonna get him next week after the Tottenham game.
It makes sense.
Which is when everyone will be jumping on him. Everyone.
There are construction constraints and money-wise. I mean, you're dropping a premium asset for him. You can't.
Everyone is dropping Son. Like he has so much ownership. Trust me.
Son's
people are
not
gonna
a
drop
premium.
him.
People have Salah plus upfront Kane. कितने रखेंगे भाई?
On one hand, I've told you how City have played. United scored 3 against Brighton.
Oh my God, just let United go, dude.
Then they scored 4 against.
Fan.
Then they scored 4 against Newcastle. and then they scored 3 against Everton. So it might help to look at the stats sometimes and base your team on stats.
I do look at the stats.
Based on your ranking, it seems you don't, but
we just see, like, the way my last week went. I'm right there, buddy, right behind.
No, you're not.
But we should see.
Bet lage na next 5 game weeks, Bruno versus KDB.
When I've already got too much to do than to bet some fucking stupid shit like that and lose my money, knowing my luck.
That's the easiest way of getting out of a bet.
Yeah. Anyways, so who's your captain for next week, Smarty Pants?
Mine?
Yes. No, my neighbors.
You were talking to Murtaza because I explained all my rationale based on facts.
No, but I didn't ask you your captain, and now I'm asking you your captain.
So it'll either be Grealish or DCL.
Do tell what the stats are.
So DCL, since the start of the season.
DCL, I agree with, posting very impressive numbers. Tell me about Grealish. Why Grealish?
Okay, so DCL has scored 3 goals away from home, and they're playing Fulham. If you look at Grealish's next match is at home against Brighton. Grealish has scored 3 goals and 5 assists at home since the start of the season. And with Watkins up front and in deadly form, he's a very good choice to have as a captain. He would be a great differential. Keeping in mind that Spurs are playing City, Liverpool is playing Leicester, so you've got the big teams playing against each other. It would be a really good move to choose one of these two as the captain. I haven't decided yet, but I'm leaning towards Grealish as captain as a differential pick.
Okay. All right. So they play Brighton, right?
Yeah, at home.
I can see. And Grealish plays on the left, right?
Yeah.
He plays on the left, yes.
He's in form, man. 8.5 points per game.
But so I just want to point out, that from the right-hand side, which is where he will face Brighton when he's on his left. Brighton have the second best defense in terms of chances conceded from that side in the last 6 game weeks. In fact, they're the strongest team behind Chelsea from that side. So maybe you're considering the stats, as it were. DCL.
I will take it under advisement.
Okay. Will you? I know now you won't keep DCL as your captain.
Oh, I actually chose Chilwell over Zuma when we had our last interesting discussion. So
And you're telling me it's not worked out for you?
Chilwell is right now injured. Zuma has scored as many points as Chilwell has, and Zuma is cheaper than Chilwell.
Okay, never mind. Murtaza, are you still with us?
Yes.
Who's your captain?
So I had, of course, Salah on the map, but now that he's gone, it will either be Ziyech if I bring him in, or Grealish.
Interesting. All right. So for me, it's Mane right now.
Makes sense, bro.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah. I think put Salah out.
Against Leicester?
Yeah, at home.
Leicester have conceded the least amount of goals in the season so far.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Just giving you numbers for you to.
Okay.
They're very good defensively.
But I think Liverpool are going to be better offensively. So
You don't have James Rodriguez?
No, but you know who is another option is Ziyech. Ziyech is also one I'm considering.
He would be a really good pick. They're playing Newcastle.
Because Pulisic is injured, so like he definitely gets
will
the
start.
Yeah.
And with Werner up in the goals.
That was the worst mistake I ever made, man. Kicking Werner out.
Yeah. It's going to cost you.
But that would have been triple Chelsea then, right?
Yeah, I did have.
But Chelsea are playing really well.
But you wouldn't expect Chelsea the way they've turned around in the last 4 game weeks. We're just going to start keeping clean sheets and
scoring goals.
I really like that James guy also as a pick.
Reece James,
pretty good.
But he's expensive, in my opinion, a little bit.
But I think they figured it out how he plays with Ziyech there and how they cut and all.
But I think his minutes will be managed maybe going forward. No?
True. Well, I don't know. He likes that combo, I think. So.
All right. Anyways, Chalo, I think then that's pretty much it from us here at FMLPK. Just again, I'd like to remind everyone to keep an eye out on the international fixtures and COVID news. God forbid, before you finalize your changes. Usually, we like to just set up our team in advance and then make the change very close to the end. But set it up as it were if you weren't going to make the change. Yeah. So in case you miss it, because sometimes you just forget on a Saturday, like 2 hours before the match or something. So take care and good luck.